Hello, everybody. Well, just finished watching the Bear Sheet Lander mission. If you haven't seen the actual landing attempt, then spoiler alert, they didn't make it. But I modeled this mission in KSP. As you can see, I'm going to be replaying this from replay. Um, and so here we go. Quick overview of the mission if you're not familiar with it. Space IL is an Israeli-based group of people. It's a company, um, and they were part of the Google X Lunar Prize, where Google put out a series of I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. They put out a series of mission parameters, and if they were to complete these parameters, get a bunch of money from Google. So, um, unfortunately, that prize ended, and none of the teams claimed the prize. But Space ILO was super close to finishing their lander anyway, so they went ahead and finished it. Got some more sponsors for the lander, and here we are. So this was not the Israeli government who did this. That's a key point to this mission. One of the things that makes this mission really cool and really exciting. I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this, and I hope my sound is okay. I'm gonna turn the sound and KSP down. Okay, so it launched on a Falcon 9 about a month ago. That's what's modeled here in Kerbal Space Program. Not the best Falcon 9 model I've ever made. I also don't land the first stage, but this is not a Falcon 9 video. This is about the Bear Sheet lander. The Bear Sheet tagged along on the back of a communication satellite, and that's all modeled here in what we did. Now this version of KSP is KSP version 1.7. I believe it was released yesterday. It may have been released the day before. But I downloaded it this morning, and it's been really nice. Over in the bottom left, you can see we've got our periapsis and orbit data over there. We've got our delta V over in the left on the stages and stuff, so you can follow along as the mission goes. So, as I was saying, the Bear Sheet lander was on top of a communication satellite. A Falcon 9. Now, again, I did not make. This is not a Falcon 9 video. So I did not model the Falcon 9 100% correctly or as good as I could have, but we're here. So in this Falcon 9, it's just expendable. I didn't land the first stage, and I just put this together quickly because I wanted to go live as soon as the Bear Sheet lander was over with. I was obviously hoping that it landed successfully, and so this video is of it landing successfully, although I did add in a couple of bloopers of us landing unsuccessfully prior to the final actual landing, and we'll talk about what happened, at least the preliminary data of what occurred during the failure, the Bear Sheet lander, and so on. So here we're nearing the burnout of the first stage, and burnout, and second stage separation, second stage ignition, and now we're going for a very highly elliptical orbit because we're going to go to the moon. Now, in the real mission, the first stage was landed, and there was long pauses between burns of the second stage. In this, we just do it all together. Also, there were a lot more burns done. Okay, so now we got the fairing off, so now we can see the Bear Sheet lander up there on top being circled, and below the Bear Sheet lander is the communication satellite that was also launched with the lander. Again, the Bear Sheet lander performed more burns than I do here in KSP. I again just wanted to get this video ready to go so I could go live with it as soon as the actual mission was over, which I was hoping would end in a moon landing. Unfortunately, it ended in a moon cratering. I mean, what is landing, right? It is technically on the moon, not in one piece. So here we go. Second stage cutoff. And we're getting ready for separation here. We're going to point towards our prograde. And this mission profile follows the actual mission profile exactly, minus the extra burns that were done by the bare sheet lander. So in the real mission, the bare sheet lander was the detach off of the top there, and then we had landing leg deploy, which also activated the bare sheet lander's communication suite, and that is all inside the lander as it was. And there's our trajectory. So you can see if we do nothing, we'll crash back into the Earth, which obviously is not the moon. So we get this maneuver node set up so we can do our burn and get us all the way into orbit, which is provided by the bare sheet lander. All of our orbit data is at the bottom left if you're interested in that. And then here in just a minute, we're going to switch over and we're going to prepare to separate the communication satellite. So the whole mission was modeled, um, minus the Falcon 9 first stage. And this is in stock KSP also. So no mods. And there we go, the communication satellite. And it'll get pushed away here a little bit. Nice and slow. Deploy its solar panels and its communication suite. Perfect, and that satellite is secure, and then it's going to get its orbit burn ready. And now, I don't know the profile that the communication satellite took because, well, frankly, I was a little distracted by the moon lander. So, uh, touch back on who we were talking about before. The moon lander right there was a private company. It was not the government, not the Israeli government. It was a privately owned company that made it and operated the moon lander up until its untimely demise about 15 minutes ago. So the Falcon 9, of course, is also a private sector entity. And so this was a private sector launching company launching a private sector lander, which is very exciting, and hopefully a direction that space exploration will be going soon. So here we go, and you'll see that I'm pulsing this engine. Did that for a reason, and we'll talk about the engine a little bit more when we get closer to the moon landing. Now, if you followed the mission profile, the first burn to raise the orbit done